Hello, everybody. This is Necromancer 3000, and it just occurred to me I haven't done a review in quite a while. And that bothers me. So, might as well start them back up again. I will review Dead Space 3 eventually, but the co-op campaign with my friends taking a lot longer than I thought. Yeah. I apologize for that. But what I want to review today is a prequel to the exclusive Gears of War series. Gears of War Judgment. Yeah, this came out this week. I've been playing it. I played it with my friend cooperatively, sorry. And I'm really enjoying the game. I'm enjoying it a lot more than I thought I would. Because, you know how it goes with prequels. They could be either really good or really bad or somewhere where meh. So, what are my thoughts? And obviously my thoughts, but well, the campaign was surprisingly really good. I mean, I wasn't expecting it to be that good, especially since we already know what's going to happen. It's a prequel. But they did it in a certain way to where we learned the backstory of a certain character we didn't get to hear much about, which is Baird, which I really was interesting. And they did a lot of things in the campaign that was different than most of the other Gears of War games. You'd think you'd be doing the normal cover and shoot, right? But mostly using cover to get towards people. You actually don't use cover as much as you think you would. Because the enemies bum rush you, and there's more enemies that come out, more locusts that come at you in this game than any other Gears game. I mean, it is intense. This shit get bumped up in difficulty because of that. I mean, the enemies will fucking bum rush you and get in your face, and they'll chainsaw you, and they put you down. You better hope you have a co-op partner, because the AI might not be able to get to you in time because there's enemies surrounding them, and right when they see you down, they're going to turn around and stomp you. You have no chance of getting back up. And they changed something about the controls, which I really like. They changed the, now instead of using the D-pad, you can swap weapons with Y, which means you only carry 2 weapons instead of 3 like you used to, 2 main weapons in the sidearm, but it's not that big of a deal. They made it to where you can now just press the left bumper to be able to, or whatever one, the bumper to throw a grenade without winding it up. You can still wind it up and get where you need it to go, but you don't have to. You can just easily toss it if it's people making you mad. And the grenades can also stick to people now without you having to run up and actually stick them. If you throw it and it hits them in the face, they stick now, which is really cool. And the new weapons. I like the new weapons, I really do. But the campaign. So you obviously you don't play directly when E-Day starts. This is like probably a couple weeks, maybe a month after E-Day, I don't know. It's really early after E-Day happens. And you follow Kilo Squad, which is led by, your favorite engineer, Damon Baird. Obviously with his cohort, Coltrane, because you can't have Baird without the Coltrane. And 2 new characters. Yeah, I won't spoil who they are at all, because I want you to figure out who they are. But 2 new characters that are actually really interesting. So the game follows a really weird thing. You start off technically near the end of the game. Yeah, it's weird. Where you go into a tribunal to have them basically cast judgment upon you. So something happened with Bear disobeying orders and whatever. And then basically you hear everybody's point of view through the entire squad, figuring out what happened to bring them to this point. What was really cool about that, which made the campaign so much more interesting than some of the other Gears campaigns, was the secret testimonials, which are these little red gear signs on the walls and stuff. You'll see them glowing, and you go and press X. It allows you to change the gameplay and make it harder and more entertaining to play the game. That actually changes the testimony of what the characters say. Because throughout the entire campaign, they're talking, what your guys are doing while you're doing it. But, you pick this secret testimonial, you'll say, you ran out of ammo and only had your snub pistol and a shotgun left, or stuff like that. Or, there's, the locusts turn off the lights and you can't see enough, you gotta fight in the dark. Or, things that impair your vision. Stuff like that, which is really cool. And they have this, and when you do them, you get more points toward your star rating. They have a new star rating system at the top, which, the more stars you get, the more stuff you unlock. If you get up to 40 stars, you can unlock a secret, not really secret, but I already knew about it, is the Aftermath campaign. Which is a short hour campaign that explains what happened to Cole and Baird when they went to go get reinforcements in Gears of War 3. So it goes back to the Gears kind of play style, which I liked. You get to play the new and the old in the same game, which I really loved. And yeah, overall the campaign was really good. I still think Gears of War 3 was the best Gears campaign, but this one was my close second, which actually surprised me. I mean, I thought it was more fun to play than Gears 1 and 2. But it just couldn't beat 3 in my opinion, because 3 was just really good. I love the campaign and all the stuff you put into it. It was really awesome. But this one is a close second. It really is. I mean, I was so happy. But the only bad part is the last boss in the game was kind of pressing. I mean, it could have been a lot more, and they didn't really build him up enough. You saw him like a whole once before you actually fought him. It was kind of weird. He was more like a looming presence. They could have done better. They really could have. And the graphics of this game, they still seem like Gears of War. But there's a more color palette now. Instead of the whole grays and dark stuff, like where it was really dark and gritty, which it worked for Gears, but sometimes you need a little bit more color. This one, it gave that color while keeping the gritty look, and it just looks brilliant. I mean, I love the what way it looks. I mean, they just pop out now, and it just looks so good. And obviously the music is still awesome. It's still Gears of War music, all that kind of stuff. You can still do the chainsaws. You can still do all that kind of stuff. But, yeah. And they actually explain, like, the new weapons you get in the game, which I really thought was a nice thing that most prequels didn't do. You can kind of reason why they weren't in the other games. Because this one, is basically there's people from another military that joined the COG to help fight the Lambit. Oh, not the Lambit, sorry. The Locusts. And, the weapon, you get the two weapons you get. One of them is like a sniper rifle kind of thing. It's a semi-automatic rifle with a scope. Is made by them. That's why it's a green color, and it's made by their country, not by the COG. And then the same thing with the grenade launcher they added. This is the same thing. And then the other one is basically the sniper rifle that I talked about, except the scope's ripped off, has more damage, and put a blade on it, which is what they call the break shot, which is what the Ravagers use, the new enemy types. And those enemies, the reason you didn't see them in the other games is because apparently, from what they say, is that the way they work is when you shoot them enough, they get into his rage mode, where they'll berserk out and turn red with spikes and just start attacking you. Which explains they basically grew extinct early in the war because of their very aggressive fighting style. But that makes me really like the prequel, because they make it make more sense than other prequels where you're like, oh, hey, look, you have this stuff, but why wasn't it in the other games? Shouldn't you still have them? No, this kind of explains it. Not as great, but I still like it. It's a good gesture. So that's what I think about the campaign. So let's go to multiplayer. Multiplayer, they added a new mode, Overrun mode. I've played it. It is quite fun. It needs some balancing. The whole multiplayer needs some balancing, but it just came out. Once it starts getting balanced, I think the game will get even a lot better. But so Overrun mode is a 5-on-5 COG versus Locust, basically kind of mixing Horde and Beast mode together, to where the COG have to defend and the Locusts have to attack. Basically, it's 3 rounds, where the first 2 rounds is opening up E-holes to give you more reinforcements, and the third one's taking up their generator to wipe them out. So with when you play, you think it's unfair because the Locusts have all these retarded, strong things, but actually it's not, because the COG get obviously they get the defenses, the wires, and lasers. You can get turrets and stuff like that, stuff that'll help you defend it, and you can get to play between 4 different classes: the soldier, the engineer, the healer, and the scout. The engineer is Baird, who can he can repair damaged walls and barricades that other ones can't, and he can spawn these sentry turrets that'll basically start shooting the enemy for you. The soldier, which is Cole, has basically a big has a bazooka, and his special ability basically allows him to throw an ammo crate down to give all of your teammates extra ammo. The scout is the sniper. He can get up on top of walls and stuff like that. He can get up on top of higher places that the other people can't, basically start sniping the enemy from afar, which is really cool. And the healer is obviously a healer. It has normal weapons, attack people, and then it has a stem gas grenade, which allows you to toss out this grenade that has this nice smoke that heals all of your partners around you. Now the Locusts still have their base thing. There's 2 rows of things you can get. The more points you get, the more you can spend to get higher level Locust you can play as. You could be a Ticker and run up and explode people. You could be a Wretch, which Wretch can scream to stun the opponent so the other Locust can kill them. And they can get up into the little sniper ledges that the Scout gets into and get rid of his ass. And you can play as a normal the Locust Grenadier, which has the normal weapons, basically the Scout, of his class, and they can throw grenades. And then you have the Cantus, which is basically the healer. It runs around with the Gorgon pistol. It's hard to take down, very fast, and it can constantly heal the Locust. Then you can also be the Ravager, the big guys that berserk, and you can choose when to berserk and just attack people, which is really fun. You could be the Centipede, which has a new ability from if people have played Beast Mode. It can rear up and like spit acid at people, which is really cool. And you can obviously be the big ass guys with the flinging maces with the shields, and the shields can spin now, which can just mulch people anything in front of you. And finally, you can be a Corpser, which can bury under defenses and get up there. Them, I think, need to nerf hard, because corpses are annoying, but whatever. The depressing part about the multiplayer, I thought, was there was no more Horde mode whatsoever. I mean, I thought they're going to have both Horde and Overrun mode, which would have made a lot more sense in my opinion. Why would you take away that Horde mode just to have Overrun, which, Horde was just for the people who didn't want to play against other people. They just want to play with their friends and go on. They still have a mode that's called Survival, which is basically take Horde mode and gut it like a fish. It's not that great compared to Horde mode. But the normal multiplayer modes are pretty fun. I enjoy them a lot. I think they need to expand upon them and put more game modes, I think. And make them a little bit better and maybe a little bit more maps. But overall, I think it's really good. I still think Gears 3 had a really good multiplayer also. Like, if you mix these two, you have the perfect Gears multiplayer. If they ever make another Gears game, I don't know. If they do, then I hope they take that in consideration. But overall, I would give this game an 8. 8.5, maybe. Because it's not perfect. The campaign could have been a little better with certain parts. It was really good. The multiplayer lacked in areas it shouldn't have lacked in. But other than that, it's a solid game. If you're a Gears fan, you need to get it. I mean, it's a really fun game. Had a blast. And you play with your friends. It's obviously going to be a lot funner. So this is Garrett Westfall. Necromancer 3000. Signing off.